Welcome to Channel 108 News with Roshani Parameshwar. In 2012, in Pakistan's Swat Valley, a masked gunman boarded a school bus. He approached 15-year-old Malala Yousafzai and shot her twice, with bullets piercing her head and neck. Malala was rushed to the hospital, and her chances of survival seemed slim. But Malala went on to make a miraculous recovery. In Malala's own words, quote, "I don't think death wanted to kill me, and God was with me." Here, in the United States, we have had more than our share of experience with gun-related violence. Often, we characterize such tragedies as being senseless and caused by inner demons and personal grievance. But Malala was shot for a reason, and that reason was fear. Years before that terrible day, this young woman had become her country's leading champion for the rights of girls to attend school. When the Pakistan Taliban tried to deny that right, she fought back with the greatest tool she had, her voice. Young and brave, she was noticed and listened to. This little girl scared the Taliban. Her fearlessness terrified them. So the Taliban struck, using the means they have come to know best, violence. But in striving to swipe out Malala's words, they have amplified her message beyond the Swat Valley. In October 2015, 17-year-old Malala became the youngest person to win the Nobel Peace Prize and continues to advocate for female education. We are honored to have her here today as our guest. Please give a round of applause to young activist and Nobel Peace winner, Malala Yousafzai. Thank you so much for joining us on our program.
Thank you so much. It's an honor for me.
It's so humbling to meet you. Where did your love for education come from?
We are human beings, and it is part of our human nature that we don't learn the importance of anything until it's snatched from our hands. When terrorists stopped us girls from going to school in Pakistan, at that time, I realized that education is very important. Education is power for women, and that is why the terrorists are afraid of education. They do not want women to get education because then women would become more powerful.
That is exactly right. When the Taliban prohibited girls from going to school, you spoke out against them, starting right from a very young age. What gave you the courage to do this?
My father was a great encouragement for me because he spoke out for women's rights and girls' education. At the time, I thought that why should I wait for someone else? Why don't I speak out? So I raised my voice on every platform that I could.
After you started campaigning for girls' rights to go to school, the Taliban started to threaten you. Were you scared? How did you react?
When I first heard that I was being threatened, I thought, no, this cannot be true. I was more worried about my father than I was worried about myself because we thought that the Taliban would not be so cruel that they would kill a child. I was 14 at that time, but then later on, I used to think about what I would do if a Talib came and tried to kill me. I asked, if he comes, what would you do, Malala? Then I replied to myself, Malala, just take a shoe and hit him. But then I said, if you hit a Talib with your shoe, then there would be no difference between you and the Talib. You must not treat others with cruelty and harshness. You must fight others, but through peace, dialogue, and education. Then I would tell him how important education is, and that I even want an education for his children. I would say, that's what I want to tell you. Now do what you want.
That is amazing. You have gone through so much, and yet you remain so level-headed. You are so composed, and yet so passionate about your education. Why do you think education is so important?
In my opinion, the solution to all the wars and problems that the world is facing is only through education. Because you can stop war for a second, but you never know when it can start again. There is not one issue in this world, but many. I think education is the best way to address these. People might think that education is just about going to school and learning about chemistry, math, etc. Education isn't just about learning different subjects. It teaches you about life. You learn about equality. Students are provided with the same benches. They sit equally. It teaches students how to live with others, how to accept each other's languages, religions, and traditions. It teaches us respect and how to live together. That is why I support the idea of sending all children to school. The problems of the world are many and complicated, but the solution is simple, and that is education.
I'm so humbled to speak with you. You are not just a light God, but a young light God. Thank you for joining us today. As you can see, education is powerful, and Malala pointed out, education isn't just about getting smarter. True education is about equality and seeing oneness. So, how can we develop oneness? Stay tuned for our next segment on Channel 108, Connect to the Light. This is Roshani Parmeshwar signing off.